Just want to remind everybody that you can score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there really is no better time to get in on the action, guys. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So you guys can visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to learn more and kick off the NFL season right. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. And we actually do have some tickets that I forgot to mention in the first hour here, coming from our boy Mark Scott. He turned a $5 parlay into, I believe, $144. Dang. It's a 4-leg parlay that he hit. So that could be you if you use FanDuel Sportsbook.
Awesome. Before we do Fence Riders, I just want to go through a couple more Deshaun quotes.
Okay.
Just real quick so we can fill in everybody. Deshaun admitted he, quote, jumped the gun by deciding he was ready to play against the Colts and is now saying he must listen to the experts until he's technically ready to play.
That's interesting.
And we'll definitely talk about that a little more in depth tomorrow. I want to actually hear the quote and exactly all his words as opposed to just seeing it. Zach Jackson tweeted out that, I'll pull it up again, that he's taking it day by day essentially. Watson, of course I want to play, but as long as we're on the same page as an organization, I'm willing to do whatever is best for this team. It's a step-by-step, day-by-day process. He says he feels on track. Throwing was part of the process, but not an indication he will actually play on Sunday. He's just listening to the medical staff, going day by day, and doing whatever they ask and require of him to do to get back on the field. The big thing was he admitted he jumped the gun, and those were his words, by playing against the Colts.
And the bottom line is when a quarterback of Deshaun, like we could say they should sit him. We said the same thing with Baker. The bottom line is when a quarterback the stature of Deshaun Watson says, I'm good to go.
He plays.
The coach lets
he plays.
He plays. Yeah. That's it. And I think he's showing some signs of growth, if he's being honest.
By admitting that.
By admitting, hey, I made a mistake. I think it's interesting that he said, I made a mistake. Maybe in a way he's trying to tell everybody, hey, all this nonsense about I'm having a beef with the Browns, we're good. In a way, he's helping Kevin Stefanski with these comments.
We'll psychoanalyze that comment more. We could actually listen to it as opposed to just reading a little
Fair,
quote. So tomorrow we'll definitely do a deep dive into
do you agree with that? That he's kind of backing Stefanski, or are you not buying that?
Well, no, I think he's come to he's come back around. I think when Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry said what they said, it put extra necessary pressure on him to jump back in quicker. And when he did and got hurt, they probably all sat down afterwards. After all three of them was like, yeah we kind of handled that terribly. Yeah. Let's figure out a plan in which we can just insulate you on that one. Yeah. And then, now he's saying, hey, I tripped. I'll take responsibility for it. I shouldn't have been out there. And you've heard Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry kind of say the same thing about them throwing timetables around early on when they necessarily didn't know.
Stefanski in the last 2 weeks has not given any timetables at all. Nothing. And I think it feels like they are on the same page right now.
And hopefully we get an answer to who will be starting at some point this afternoon. That's the goal. And let's do a little Fence Riders.
All right, Anthony. Go ahead.
All right, guys. So our first Fence Rider up is, let me pull it up here real quick. Will the Browns defense get 2 or more turnovers? So our guys out here on the panel, Mike, Bull, G, you all said yes. Earl back here and Jason said no. And then Earl and Jason said yes as well. And then Tyvis actually is the lone man on the no side.
I'll give you my logic. We'll move this. Move through this pretty quickly. We all agree. They forced 4 turnovers against Indy. They forced 2 against Seattle, and there's a chance they're going up against a rookie quarterback making his first start on the road against this defense. It's hard to predict turnovers, but in the last 2 weeks they've been very good in that category. If you're telling me Clayton Tune's a quarterback, I like my chances.
The Browns have a good defense that was not forcing turnovers early. Last couple of weeks they have been. You mentioned it's a rookie quarterback. I mean, rookie quarterbacks turn the ball over, generally.
Yeah.
I expect there to be two turnovers in this game.
Oh, they're going to get 2. Yeah. You give me 2. This is a game that you get nice on. This is one of them games where you be like, oh, I'm patting my steps. If you're Myles Garrett, you're like, look.
It's a DPOY game.
That's right.
You need about 5 in this game.
I can't remember because I'm going to make this comment unless we do. But do we have a P.J. Walker question in this game?
No, I don't think we have any quarterback questions because
we didn't
weren't
put
sure
one in
who was starting.
Yeah.
Okay, but so let me make this comment now. If P.J. Remember, G wasn't here because he wasn't feeling well Monday and Tuesday. But on Monday and Tuesday, we were like, it felt like P.J. Walker had a decent game for him, and his numbers were still hideous.
Yeah.
Under 50% completion, 3 turnovers, and it still felt like a decent game. Like, that's how bad he's been. If he can't have a real decent game against Arizona, then he's never going to have a decent
Then we have
game.
an issue.
Yeah. Well, we already have an issue.
That's the way the way the human mind distorts. Like it's like the Mandela effect. Like we feel like, oh man, he threw for 4. No, he actually never threw for that many yards.
Yeah.
You just made yourself feel better about a terrible situation by pointing out the good things.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's even like on the contrary. Deshaun's game against Tennessee was very good. Mm-hmm. It was 289 and 2 touchdowns. It wasn't like he rewrote the record.
No. He had a good game.
It was a very good game, and
But it
that's not a
wasn't like
knock
a
on him.
weak
but-
game.
We even went back and we looked at how many times Baker threw for 3 touchdowns or
Yeah,
more.
it was 8.
It was a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes mentally you can distort how good or how bad a
Yep.
performance is to warp it into whatever you want it
you
to
sure
be. And
did.
Deshaun played very good against Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
saying he didn't, but
All
it
right.
wasn't a record book
it
right
wasn't
performance.
yeah.
And what's number 2?
Next, Anthony.
All right, so number 2, with the trading of DPJ, will Cedric Tillman record a catch this weekend? All of you out on there said yes, except for G, and then Earl also said yes with Tyvis and Jason. What are our overall expectations for Cedric Tillman this
I don't know
weekend?
that you need to specify us, Anthony. You just,
He ain't catching no ball. Like, what you mean?
You don't think
bro?
so?
No. Listen, you know how long it takes to get in. This is like the unemployment line.
G is right. I'm flip-flopping. I'm going with G.
You ever been in
I'm gonna
a-
tell y'all why you're both wrong.
You ever get in a line for something free and you be like, dang, it's this many people. You're like, it ain't worth it. You know how far back Cedric Tillman is in line to get a catch? He has David Bell got to get in line. We have not seen has Marquise Goodwin caught a ball yet besides the end around.
Yeah, he's like 3 catches for
Not
like
many.
5 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, they have not much of a passing game. They've run the ball like 100 times the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
There you go, no catch.
Here's why Cedric Tillman's gonna have a catch. I said this on Behind the Glass last night. I'm not fully committed to this theory, but it's a working theory. I think the
Okay.
Browns front office has an issue admitting their mistakes. I do. And to prove that trading DPJ and not bringing anything else back was the right idea, they're gonna force feed the ball to Cedric
that's
Tillman.
nonsense.
He's gonna have.
You're buying
he's gonna
fan
have
propaganda
four,
right now.
4 targets and 2 catches on Sunday.
Nah, he's
and
gonna-
if a third pass from PJ Walker was on target, he'd have 3 catches. They may only go for 4 yards. They may be behind line of scrimmage.
gonna run
but they're
5
going
routes.
to force feed
Bull,
Cedric
that-
Tillman the
I'm
ball.
flip-flopping. He's running 5 routes.
Did I get you to flip-flop to my
He's going
side,
to have
though?
1 target, no catches.
No, he's not going to get no catches. Listen, that's propaganda. The fans will tell you, once again, make yourself feel better about losing an asset for free.
Yeah.
They say, oh, well, now this opens up all this imaginary room on the roster for Cedric Tillman to get his funky off. He about to ball out.
DPJ ran 31 routes on Sunday.
Earl and Tyvis were out of pocket on Wednesday. By the way, it's my favorite expression now. I use it all the time.
He started using that like salt.
Yeah. Earl
can't
and
get to his fans
Tyvis
without-
were out of pocket by saying the team is not any worse with DPJ. That was. I was really thinking about that overnight. How bad a take that was.
Yes.
He just
Because
marinated.
They lost
the man had
something.
800 yards last year.
Right.
And now we're just throwing everything he's done. He's been, before this year, he had been a valuable member of the Browns offense.
Watch this. He is the reason you wouldn't go get DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, not me, but that
I'm
was-
just
yes.
That was everybody's reason.
Yes,
He
yes.
was the reason. Don't touch the receiving core.
Yeah.
This receiving core is going, and then you just get rid of him.
And because
now,
the Browns quarterback play has been trashed this year, and he hasn't put up any numbers, all of a sudden he has no value at all.
0 value.
I mean, no. The Browns screwed that up. They gave away a player that had not a ton of value, but that has some value, and they gave him away for nothing.
and he does
For nothing.
he does the right things. He doesn't have missed assignments. He catches it when he throws it to him.
He's a good blocker.
He's a good blocker. So I can't. They traded him for an Uncrustable. I don't.
For an Uncrustable, yeah.
They
And a
just
stale Uncrustable.
Those are the worst.
Everything you guys said is true and right.
Yeah.
And Cedric Tillman's still having 2 catches this week.
All right.
So number
He's
3.
standing on.
I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be right.
He's taught you one thing. You stand on it.
I'm gonna be. Listen, I genuinely believe the Browns have an issue admitting mistakes. That's why.
You got to stand on that, fam.
Earl's going to be standing
It's
by
gonna
himself
happen.
on the next one.
It's gonna. Yeah.
What did Earl say? I
You got
didn't hear him.
to.
Earl's on the other side of the fence by himself on this next one. So he's
What
gonna
did he
have a chance
say?
to
I didn't
defend
hear
himself.
it.
He said I got to stand on it,
I said you got to stand on that,
which I
fam.
do.
gotta stand
Cedric
on
Tillman's
that.
gonna have 2
All right.
catches this week. I am
Go ahead, next.
almost certain enough to a point I'm gonna put a whale bet in on his over catches. A whale
All
size
right, so
bet.
number 3 here is will Elijah Moore score his first touchdown of the season? And Earl is by himself on an island with yes. Everybody else said no. I'm also going no on this one.
This passing game is just, you get rid of DPJ, the passing game is lit.
Yeah, right. We got Tillman making grabs. We got Elijah Moore in the end zone.
2 catches for 10 yards.
Damn.
This is what we need to do from start. We should have just
I think the Browns are only going to complete 12, 13 passes in the game, period.
That's it.
They're going to run the ball, and they're going to have a lead. They're not going to have to throw the ball at all.
And
the Cardinals shouldn't score in this game, or should score. I got it 24-27, a 10 or 7 or 9 or something like that.
Unless you counting Hail Mary back shoulders and slants, there's no other routes that we running or we complete. Have you seen any other route completed?
I have.
What?
And it wasn't completed. But Stefanski dialed up his Elijah Moore's going to get wide open in the red zone play last week. And guess what? It worked. He was wide ass open.
He did. He was.
And PJ Walker threw to Amari Cooper. So now that's on
so
tape.
all of a sudden, he's going to make good throws now?
No, I'm saying they used their Elijah Moore get wide ass open play already. Now it's on tape. Arizona's going to prepare for it, which means he doesn't have any more Elijah Moore get wide open in the red zone plays. So no, he's not going to score a touchdown. Earl, tell us why we're wrong. See, you know what I'm saying?
I know
he was wide ass open.
The mesh play was open. The mesh was there. He was open. That's touchdown.
I mean, I just feel like eventually something got to give, right? Elijah Moore eventually will have to find an end zone this season.
Why?
I
Maybe
think
you
that
won't all
this.
year.
Wait. I think that this is an opportunity for him to be able to do so. Even though the pass offense has not been what it's been, PJ Walker found the end zone passing the ball last week. Maybe he can do it again this week. So I just don't believe that he's gonna go the whole season without catching a touchdown. So let's make it this week.
If you had to bet the rest of the season, Elijah Moore, 3 touchdowns or 0, what would you bet?
3 is a steep climb, bro.
I think.
I ain't trying to diss him or not because it sounds like I'm just trying to be funny. But
No, you're right. No, that's.
3 is a lot, man.
I think 0 is impossible.
Why? I give you a much better receiver that had 0 touchdowns last year.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson is 15 times better than Elijah Moore.
He's better than Elijah Moore, but
Way better.
The only way is he got to. Deshaun
if
Watson.
Deshaun's not healthy, and we're playing PJ. That's actually a really good question.
You know how many games Elijah Moore's gone in a row without a touchdown going back to last year?
How many?
13.
I was going to guess 12.
And in fact, he has 1 touchdown in his last 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. He scored 1 touchdown in his last 22 games.
All right.
1 in 22.
All right, Bull. You didn't.
It's impossible for him to have 0.
Bull.
He has 1 in his last 22.
Bull's pouring the gravy on these dudes right now. This is a bad. 22.
I'm on both sides here.
I am too.
Give me the percentage chance of Elijah Moore scoring a touchdown this week.
Less than 3.
I'm saying 1.5.
No.
I'd say 10.
Because they don't. If they're in the red zone, they're not going to throw the ball. Like my wife laughs hysterically because she doesn't understand the game that much. But every time that the Cleveland Browns move the ball on pass interference calls, she hysterically laughs like, "We're fleecing them. They give us call again."
Your impression of your wife is my favorite impression anyone does.
By the way, when are these official birthday invitations going out? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I am. I got to get the flyers together. I got to get, What
is that, Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday
night. Is it at your house or is it going to be somewhere?
It's at my house.
I know a couple guys who could design some flyers for you. You just let me know.
Yeah, listen,
His name's Anthony.
Now
they won't be spelled correctly.
Earl, we got to get. Hey, if Elijah Moore scores a touchdown this week, Earl is getting bragging time. He's got to be able to get his
also,
bragging
if Cedric
time.
Tillman gets a catch, I'm stomping all over.
No,
you guys.
forget you. We'll give it to Earl. Earl gets double time if Cedric Tillman gets the catch and Elijah Moore scores a touchdown.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Earl, it's always good to be on the right side of history. Don't worry.
Go ahead. Next, Anthony.
All right, so number 4, will Marquise Brown have a 100-yard game with a rookie quarterback? All of you said no to this. This was one of our couple unanimous.
Stupid question. Who came up with this question?
This was a combo between Mike and I.
This is a dumb question.
I said even if Kyler Murray
I'll take the
was
credit
there,
for it, though.
he wouldn't have 100
And
yards.
especially because you said, you should have just said, will he have 100 yards?
You should have said 55.
I mean, how many Marquise, has he had 100 yards this year?
He's on my fantasy team. I should know he ain't did nothing.
I would have said no even if it was Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I didn't understand why you guys asked that question.
I would go under 100 yards with almost any receiver in the league against this Browns secondary.
It's kind of
Like
hard.
Tyreek Hill would be the only guy.
But Marquise Brown hasn't even had 100 yards against anybody this year.
Listen, Jackson Smith and Jigba had 1 catch.
DK had 60 yards.
DK had
including
60
a long
yards.
one.
Tyler Lockett had some yards, but it wasn't. They wasn't doing nothing. Like,
No. Brown secondary did a really good job against Seattle.
But it's not, in this case, it's not even about the Brown secondary. It's
the quarterback, too.
It's
Quarterback,
their
yeah.
Marquise Brown, the most yards he's had in a game this year is, what the hell is this? Come on now. Most.
We got to get Bull a tablet so
I
we can
know.
actually search stuff.
Actually,
We have an
yo,
iPad sitting back here that's doing
Can
nothing.
we get that board like Kenny and Shaq got, where they just run to the
need it.
board
I
and you
know.
just touch it? Yeah, listen, I already had this
I
up
would
here.
I would love to do with the
That-
black
that'd be
space over there,
that
yeah, something
crazy.
like that. But
How much would that cost?
more than we have available to us right now.
Marquise Brown this year, the most.
Nothing.
He did have 96 yards in the game against the Niners.
That was
Their
it.
secondary's trash.
He has not had 100 yards since the third week of last year.
Oh, stop playing. Yeah.
And he's had only 100-yard games, 6 100-yard games his whole career.
Well, do you know what's scary? We all agree
That's
we're
a
usually
terrible
wrong.
question.
So hopefully this.
Yeah,
is
but that's a
not the-
bad question because nobody would
I
ever
mean,
predict that.
what routes are they going to run for him to be wide open?
Yeah.
Just go deep and pray.
Yeah.
Unless Clayton Tune is the next Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
By the way, is Brock Purdy? Can we get Brock Purdy? But is Jay going to admit that Brock Purdy's not better than Josh Allen?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a
That
take.
take is aged very poorly.
That take is.
And honestly, Josh Allen hasn't played great either recently, but still.
That take has aged about as well as a diaper in an old trash can that people forgot about.
Worst
in
take,
May.
is that the worst take in the history of the show?
It's on the list for the takeys again this year. When we do our end of year ceremony.
Last year was Earl's Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah, but this is tough.
or
Last year's Jay was voted the winner of worst take for saying Baker was back after the one game.
I
After the one game.
that one that
right.
run Rams.
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
That was
He's
that
back.
beat Earl's Donovan Mitchell take for
But
worst
this,
take of the year.
but this, listen, we had a whole show
Yeah.
as if we were the 49ers or locked on the 49ers podcast or something.
Yeah.
We talked about that man Purdy, and it was an argument over him. I'm like, dang, bro, they
By the way, have you seen? We're getting a lot of pub out in Seattle because I asked, is Bobby Wagner a Hall of Famer?
yeah. They're mad at you.
they
Big
They were
mad.
so mad. There was like people. This guy's an idiot. Like, what? I'm supposed to know? He's a linebacker for the Seahawks. I'm supposed to pay attention to every team's best players.
Yes.
Hey, that is such a New York retort right there. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a linebacker for the Seahawks.
And then eventually I came around and said he was a Hall of Famer.
Right, and
I thought it was hilarious though.
And we was trying to get him. Remember, we was trying to lobby for him.
Yeah.
Bull's like,
all summer?
Bull's like, I don't want him. He's not a Hall of Famer. I don't want him. But now that Bull knows he's a Hall of Famer, if we could
He's a-
retroactively
No,
go back to
exactly.
this
Go
summer.
ahead.
And what's the next one?
Go ahead.
All right, so this one was our most even split. Will the Browns rush for at least 165 yards as a team? Bull G Ty said yes. McNuggets, Earl, and Jason said no.
Man, you and Earl are having a terrible game.
We're in lockstep. We're going to
Guys
win.
lost.
Here's why they're not going to rush for 165 yards. Despite the fact I think they should go into this game plan with Watson and/or PJ Walker, run heavy because Arizona's not great against the run.
Yeah.
They're even worse against the pass. And Stefanski, for better or worse, likes to have a very even 50-50 run-pass split balance. So they had 40 carries last week,
Yeah.
which is a lot. They got 155 yards. They didn't have 165 last week in Seattle.
Yeah, but Arizona's way
defense-
worse than Seattle.
I grant that. But,
Plus,
I don't think they're going to run the ball 40 times.
Don't you think they're going to have a lead against Arizona and want to just run the ball?
Well, I think they should have ran the ball on 3rd and 3 last week, and that didn't happen.
That's
so-
one play, though.
I'm
Not
just
a
saying,
whole game
just
plan.
because you
Their
assume
game
something's
plan
going to
was to
happen.
run. They have run the ball a ton the last
I
few weeks.
just don't think they're going to run 40 times, and I think they're going to need to run the ball 35
No,
times.
they
to
won't.
get to
They'll break a couple of
165
big
yards.
runs. They won't. I think they might get over 200 yards rushing this week. I think they're gonna
Wow.
kill them on the ground. Kill them.
I want to see. Listen, I want to see how many times. I want to see how many carries Hunt gets. You know, Stefanski don't never talk back to nobody except for the low lifes, right? The lowlings. Like he feels like Myles Garrett be calling people out. Deshaun Watson be calling people out. Nothing. Amari Cooper went over to PJ Walker. He's like, you better throw me this ball on this play, and it was caught on tape. It was like, Stefanski was like, it's Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I trust him what he saw. But Kareem Hunt, I'll talk to him after this.
But Kareem Hunt made some comments yesterday that everybody's good. I don't know, you know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Kareem Hunt, yeah, he should get some touches in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think we're all coming around on Pierre Strong.
I like Pierre Strong.
I really like
see
Pierre
a lot of him. I think the Browns are going to have a massive day on the ground.
But by the way, in goal line circumstances, I want nobody else but Kareem Hunt.
It's only
I
Hunt,
agree
yeah.
with that. I agree with that.
And last one.
All right, last one for you guys is, will the Browns defense hold the Cardinals to under 14 points? Everybody said yes on this. So
Yeah, this was a bad.
what would you guys have said if we
I
said
might
10
want to
points?
kind of flip
Really? I got to be very critical of whoever came up with these questions. That should
take
have
the
been,
L for
that
this
should have been
one.
under 10.
Yeah.
And the Marquise Brown should have been like over 75. Yeah.
So what about if the answer was 10? What would you have said?
I still would have said under, but you would have thought like G probably would have said over. if
I
you
would
had
have.
that.
Because here's the thing.
Or 9, over 9 maybe.
The Browns seem to give up a lot of garbage points. Like, they're not, like,
Yeah.
I can see them throwing the ball and they up 21-6, and they let them dudes just walk down the field and get a touchdown or something like that.
G, you want to read my notes? Number 6 here. If you want to read.
Read note number 6 there.
Read, and this is the fence rider question.
All right. This one scares me the most because I think there's garbage time potential for a late touchdown here that'll eclipse 14. But this defense should be able to completely shut down the Arizona offense. There's not a unit on the field that favors Arizona in this matchup, and with a rookie quarterback, I don't see it happening. You're right. Late
Garbage
touchdown.
time. That's the only reason it scares me is a late, and they scored a late garbage time touchdown to cover last week against Baltimore.
Yeah.
They scored 24 against Baltimore.
Betting on the NFL.
Such a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Such a crapshoot.
Like it's worse than blackjack. They'd be like 2,
Yeah.
3, 6, 5, ace, 21. You lose. You're like, what?